fans. Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser, Monty G. It's time to do another horror movie review. We're going to review the latest movie from Shudder called The Long Night. Oh boy. Now, The Long Night is a 2022 American horror film. It was directed by Ragsdale. It was written by Robert Shep and Mark Young. Now, the film stars Scott Taylor Compton, Noah Gerard Funk, Jeff Fahey, and Deborah Kara Unger. Now, in this film, a devoted couple's quiet weekend takes a bizarre turn when a nightmarish cult and their mechanical leader come to fulfill an apocalyptic prophecy. Oh no, not again! What is with these cults and their prophecies? It never comes true. Now, I'm sure most horror fans have come across a horror movie where the premise, well, despite being cliched, has the potential of being a good horror film. You know, you have an excellent setting, you have very creepy music, you have creepy looking villains, and the protagonist is trying their best efforts to survive. You know, everything is flowing nicely, you got some good practical effects, you got some nice settings, you got some good scares, and everything is going well until you get the third act of the film, and when the film ends, you're left disappointed, upset, and in some cases, you're very pissed off. Now, we've seen this happen in several horror movies, such as The Turning, Signs, and 40 Meters Down. Now, in some cases, like say 40 Meters Down, despite the bad ending, it didn't ruin how good the movie was. But unfortunately, in The Turning, it was a nice setting, everything was going bad, but because of that ending, oh my god, it just ruined everything. We already didn't like what was happening in the film, and then you have that ending, and it just ruins everything. And now we have director Richard Ragsdale's latest film, The Long Night, because his film was a real disappointment, because this film was so much potential of being a very good horror film, but because of the third act, it just fails completely. Oh man. Now, the setup is something we've seen before in other horror movies, as young couple Jack and Grace are off to a remote mansion in their southern stomping grounds trying to locate her parents. Now, it doesn't take long before a weird group of people who are part of a mysterious cult prevent the couple from leaving, as they want Grace to fulfill a prophecy that could bring about end times. Yes, these goddamn cults and their prophecies about bringing about the end times because they think their world needs cleansing. Now, as I stated before, despite the cliched story, Ragsdale does an excellent job in creating the right amount of tension and suspense needed for a film like this. You know, you have the usual setting, an isolated mansion in the middle of nowhere, young people seem to be out of their element, and a scary looking cult. We've seen those settings in previous horror movies before. Now, Ragsdale does an excellent job in showing how isolated Grace and Jack are. He has these wide-range drone shots that we see, especially when they arrive during the mansion. You see nothing but lakes and woods, and that's it. You have this mansion stuck right in the middle of nowhere, and you see there's nothing there. You see the roads there, but there's no neighbors, there's nothing. It's like you're completely cut off from the rest of society. And the mansion does look beautiful and graceful, so you got to give Ragsdale credit and the cinematographer credit of how isolated and beautiful it looks, despite the fact we know that weird shit's going to happen later on. Now, the music and soundtrack by Chung is creepy and disturbing, which enhances the tension that Grace and Jack are facing when they are confronted by the cult. We also get some weird imagery in the film as well, which will bring up Mandy vibes. Yes, you're definitely going to get some Mandy vibes in this film. Scott Taylor Compton is pretty good as Grace, a woman who is desperate to find her parents, despite the fact the script doesn't go into reason as to why. I mean, it would be interesting to make her character more fascinating as the reason why she wants to find her parents. We don't go into any of that. We just come to the fact that she's looking for her parents. She has his lead. She knows she comes from the South, but that's about it. We really don't get anything more about her character other than the fact that she's looking for her parents, and that's it. Nolan Gerald Funk is okay as Jack, a man who seems to be behind Grace, but spends most of his time being a complete asshole. I mean, there's some times when he's a nice boyfriend, he looks to care, he looks to see that this is what Grace wants, he's behind her, but he also spends sometimes being a complete asshole. It's like, oh man, I really don't want to be here. They have some type of argument later on when she meets his parents for the first time, because he seems to come from a rich family. You know, it's like their chemistry is okay, but like I said before, it seems like they wanted him to be two type of characters instead of just one character. And everything is flowing nicely too. We get some nice imagery moments, some nice scary moments, until we get to that third act, and that's when the film ultimately fails, and I mean fails completely. The reveal of the cult's purpose of wanting Grace are lackluster at best. We find out, some secrets about Grace's connection to the cult. That's cliched and doesn't bring up any surprises. And unfortunately, we get a few moments of a scene that's a total ripoff of The Exorcist. I mean, oh, come on, guys. You're going to go there? Come on, please. None of what happens in the third act actually make any sense, especially what happens to Grace, to Colt, and to Jake. I mean, it's just... that's it? None of this makes any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know what the screenwriters were thinking about when they wrote this third act. I guess it looked okay on paper, but the execution was horrible. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I really feel sorry for Jeff Fahey and Deborah Kara Unger, who are very good actors and actresses, but their talents are wasted in this film. Despite the few minutes that they're in this film, Jake appears like someone during the second act and he's gone, and then Deborah Kara Unger, she does appear towards the end of the film and really serves no purpose whatsoever. So despite the excellent setting, some creepy music, and some decent acting from Compton, Ragsdale's latest film falls short due to a third act that completely doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, if you want to talk an ending that's as terrible as The Turning, this one comes close. I do mean it does come close. So I'm going to give The Long Night 1.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. 1.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. I mean, it's had potential. I mean, it wasn't spectacular, it wasn't great, but it had potential to be a decent horror film. But then you add that third act on there, it just takes everything out of the way because it doesn't make sense. Nothing what happens in that third act, it makes no sense whatsoever as far as what the cult's purpose was. Grace's connection to the cult, when that gets revealed, it's cliche and really doesn't surprise anyone. What happens to Grace and Jake at the end of the movie doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I guess, like I said, when they wrote it down on paper, it made sense, but when you execute it, this is what you get. So only 1.5 out of my 5 bloody gold coins. So there you have it. That is my review and video for The Long Night. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with the YouTube algorithm. This is playing right now on Shudder. And if you have seen it, please leave your comments in your comment section below and tell me what you thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember that horror rules. And I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.